I know 100% after I post this, after I do the video, edit it, post it, I am going to get more than one of my subscribers happy beyond stink about the main event. Or there's going to be some subscribers that's going to say this is just stupid. But I have a really strong feeling they're going to be happy because I'm happy for what it is and for how long it's going to happen. I'm just saying. Let's get into the show. Tables match. Dina versus Jake somebody. Was it somebody? Or was it something? Jake something. I keep getting somebody and something. You know why I keep getting mixed up between Jake something and Jake somebody? Is that it doesn't really fit Jake. I'm sorry, for me personally, it does not fit Jake. Jake should not be somebody or something. He should be Jake. Or he should be something A. Jake A. Or the Atom A bomb or whatever. Something more grabbable. The music is good. But the last name does not go with the music, the character, and the first name. It just doesn't work for me personally. It just does not work. Now, here's the thing about this match. It was not a bad match. The tables match wasn't bad. Dina looked great. Jake looked good. Problem, no stakes. No stakes. Look, Jake wins it. But there was no stakes attached to it. Unless we're going to see something with Violent by Design next week and how they're going to be disciplining Dina, then it would make sense. But as far as I can tell, it was a waste. Waste of Jake. Now, I know you're going to say, what about the end of the show? Yes, I'll get to that. But as it stands for the storyline he's in, remember, this is about the storyline he's in, not about the end of the show and his performance. The storyline that he's in with his cousin, with Darling, with Eric Young, this doesn't lead anywhere. It just feels like it needed a stipulation. Now, Jake wins. And then I hope that didn't mess up the audio. Oh my goodness. He basically gets nailed by Moose. Now, I'm not going any further than that. I'm leaving it for the end of the show. End this review. Now, 6-man tag. The key of this is that the team that wins becomes a triple threat next week for the number one contendership to deal with TJP the week after, I believe. Or after that. I'm not sure. I think it would be better if it's at Sacrifice that they do this. They have the number one contendership match next week, and then they hold off till Sacrifice and let that person deal with it then. I think that's where they're going, but we don't know that until next week after we find out who wins the match itself. And I don't want to know. If anyone already knows, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'll have a guess or two, but don't want to know. Now, we had Ace, Bay, and Black Tyru versus Trey, Willie, and Josh Alexander. Now, that was kind of a surprise for me personally that I would have thought they would have thrown a suicide in that position. But they put Josh in that position, which was a bit of a surprise for me personally. Who shined the best? Trey. Who was second? Josh. Everyone else has always been the way they are. It doesn't mean they're bad. It's just the ones that really, I believe, wanted to be spotlighted was going to be Josh Alexander and Trey. Because they've been given a little bit of momentum. Trey has been given momentum because of what happened after the match. Because he did not win. Josh didn't win. Willie didn't win. None of them won. It was Ace, Bay, and Black Tyru. And I'll talk about Black Tyru in a moment if I don't forget. Because I have a tendency to forget. Trey looked really angry when he came out. Guess who was waiting for him? You see them on my face. I do believe I got a shot at them. Look, guys, I don't know where they're going with this. Does this mean you're going to have Trey working with Sami Callihan in a tag team? Because they need tag teams. They need tag teams. I know the X Division is sparse, guys. I know. The X Division is sparse. They need more than just 6 or 8 people. They need 15 people to really make the X Division work. Particularly, they need that many people, and that's minimum. I say 20 people for the X Division. I'm being honest here. 10 or 12 teams for the tag team division. 20 people, or at least 15 people for the X Division to really not only give the champion someone to deal with fresh matches, but also storylines so we can see X Division guys do something more than just wrestle their asses off and basically mean nothing. Look what happened to Rascals, and look with Trey when he was part of it. Now, basically, you got Sammy still saying, are you going to run off because you lost? Because you can't get it done? And then he gets his ass whooped by Trey, and basically he's smiling about it because he knows he's getting under Trey's skin. I just don't know where they're going with this. Either he's going to be in a tag team with him and turn him like Dina got turned by Eric Young, or they're just going to be having a feud which really feels like a filler feud for Trey because they got nothing for him right now, and definitely got nothing for Sami Callihan. Tell me below, do you believe they got something for Sami? Because as it stands, Sami's not doing anything. It doesn't matter, and I'm making this clear. I want to make this very clear to anyone. Of course, you got your own opinion, and I respect you for your opinion. I will say if you're right or wrong in my perspective. You have your right to your opinion, but let's be honest here. What is Sami doing? If he's saying he's helping younger talent, right now they don't need help with younger talent. They need better writing to get the talent over. And if anyone says they need more talent, look, you can have 150 people on Impact Wrestling, but if they don't write for any of them, they're only going to do just basic matches, just like the women are doing in WWE. Raw and SmackDown, what are they doing? Random matches. What are you getting now? Random matches. I'm just saying. Let's move on. We got ourselves the Decay bit. I didn't forget Dark Tyru. You got this interesting situation where they look like they've gone into the Shadow Realm, or AKA the Undead Realm. And they're saying that we're going to be getting gold. We now have something we haven't had in a long time. A presence, a feeling, a thought, a decay. Rosemary's such a good talker. She is. Having Black Tyru there is better than having Madman Fulton. If anybody thinks Madman Fulton would have been better in that position, no. Being a maniac is not the same as being something mythical like a Dark Tyru. Honestly, I can't wait to hear him talk. If he talks Spanish, please put some subtitles in Impact Wrestling like you did with Pentagon and Rey Fenix. Please give him subtitles. That's if he doesn't speak English. As it stands, Rosemary's a mouthpiece, which is fine. But I do hope Dark Tyru does talk eventually. And the question is going to be, is he going to win the #1 contendership? I think it's going to be him. If it's not going to be Ace, which I don't really think Ace should do it. I know many people say Ace should. No. It should be Chris Bay, or it should be Dark Tyru. One of the two. I really do believe Chris Bay is a good candidate for that. But I think the best person who's brand new, who's going to be injecting something into it, will be a Dark Tyru. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, we have the little moment with Havea and Havoc. Havea's walking away. She can't take it anymore. Havoc doesn't want her to go. She doesn't care if she loses as long as it's with her. And Havea's not having none of it. She can't stand it, so she walks away. And now to Neil Dashwood with the Caleb with the K. Loser. He pretty much is trying to convince, along with a Tennille, we're the best for you. We can still do Havoc, because my name will work very well, and Caleb with K would be best. She's not going for it. The question is going to be, where are they going here? Is this a moment where eventually Havoc gets tricked? Because my feeling is this. If they really want to have a situation where you're going to have Havea on her own, you're going to have Havea get so angry she's going to attack a Havoc. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, how are they going to do that? They're going to have to trick Havoc into this. Because Havea is not going to do it. She's not going to go after Havoc. Oh, she'll go after Tennille and Caleb for K. But I do believe they're going to put Havoc versus Havea. I do believe it's going to happen. And the best way to do it is that Tennille is going to be tricking a Havoc by calling her in certain places, and then the setup using Caleb to do a bidding of a Tennille to a Havea, saying, hey, You know your partner is no longer your partner. Look, this is where they're at, and this is what I'm thinking might happen. It might not. They may just keep them together, which honestly, after all this time, I think they should break them up because they should have been tag champions already. Because then the Hood Rats, Fire and Flavor, would have someone to chase. Because as it stands, the women's tag division sucks. Now, number one contender match for the women's tag championships. And I know you're going to say, well, what did you just say earlier? You got now a number one contenders match. Yeah. But here's the thing. You're talking about 4 women that could be in the women's title picture. Jordynne Grace, Jazz, Susan, or a Kimberly. And I know you're going to say Kimberly is working with Purrazzo. I know, but she could still be in it. You got 4 women. You don't have enough women in the roster to cover for both the main title of the Knockouts and the Knockouts tag titles. Is not enough. Why don't they bring in women from the outside? Indie wrestlers could fill in the gaps when there's no time for the other women to do the work. This is what I was saying when they had the tournament. Keep bringing in indie women to do the job. Once every 2 weeks if you have to. Bring in an indie match. Do an indie match. I'm getting angry here because it's frustrating that when you see the match, it was fine. The Faces, I believe the Faces won. Did the Faces win? Because I'm trying to remember. It was the Faces who won. But what does that mean for what? Dana Purrazzo, who's she going up against? Is it ODB? Because of what happened after that, ODB comes out, tries to stop the heels, gets ejected along with the Purrazzo, and then gets laid out. If it's going to be that, that's not much. You got ODB going up against Dana Purrazzo. That is not enough. Women, please, Impact, learn. Bring in indie wrestlers. Do a tag match with some indie wrestlers to fill in when you can't use your women. Okay. We had Swingers Palace. And I don't know what it is. Sabin is loving Swingers Palace. I'm not saying it's bad, Swingers Palace, because it is something different. I do wish they would move the venue a little bit. Instead of being in that room, maybe they should do it in an open area at one point, then go into another place or have some place with some curtains, something to change it up periodically because, yes, they're in the same location. But you could say, Johnny Swinger, hey, Daddy, I like having places to go and places to do and people to see and things to do and all the crazy stuff. Once in a while, I'm moving my joint. I'm going to move it. I know you guys don't really 100% are interested in Swingers Palace, but it is a nice change up. It's better than Bravo Who Shot Him, and it's a step down from Wrestle House. Now Raju comes in with Shiraz, his tag along. He's still angry about getting hit in the head with a bottle. He does win, I believe, a match. Haven't played 21 in so many years. I only played it once in the casinos in Atlantic City. And I lost. But I'm telling you, him winning Blackjack was not too bad. But I believe it was Blackjack or 21. I can't remember. Anyway, what do we get? Now we get a match next week between Raju and James Storm. And I don't know what this really gives us. It gives us something for the Swinger Palace. But this really helps Sabin and Storm? I don't know. You guys tell me below what you feel about it. I'm not really interested in it. I'm not. Now, we got the match I thought we weren't going to see. XXXL, Triple XL versus the Good Brothers. The children of the national disasters. Or Typhoon and Earthquake. The kids of Typhoon and Earthquake in a match to get the titles. Finally, a new, fresh match. No build-up. Nothing. And that's my problem. It wasn't the fact the match was bad. Look, you got two extremely big guys working with one medium-sized guy and one big guy in the Luke Gallows. Doc is a big guy. Carl is a medium-sized guy. You got two big-ass guys in that match. And tell me, you guys, if the cameraman must love ass, because he kept focusing on their asses a lot. Instead of pulling back on the camera like you should, you got two really big wrestlers who's as wide as the camera angle. Haven't you ever heard of a wide angle lens? What do you think I got on this? I got a wide angle lens. Wide angle lens. Why not? But anyway, it wasn't a bad match. And then afterward, they deal with FinJuice. And I'll say this. It is nice to see new blood in the tag division. FinJuice looks interesting. But the question's going to be, is there going to be enough people to make this work? Really? Reno Scum is going to be dealing with, who is it? I can't remember. XXXL, I believe. And then you're going to have FinJuice with the Good Brothers. This just shows how few people are in the damn division. That's the only teams you got. 4 teams. 4. FinJuice. Triple XL. Reno Scum, which they never even push. And then the Good Brothers, who most of the time is on AEW. I'm just saying. Okay. Eddie Edwards is supposed to have a match with Brian Myers, but we get a lawyer on the Titantron saying, hey, I have been working for many years as a wrestling lawyer, and there's a clause that says because supposedly Brian Myers' eye, he's still blind. He can't wrestle. So he has a replacement, Hernandez. I would rather see Hernandez working in Swingers Palace storyline, if you're going to call that a storyline, than working with Brian Myers, because this doesn't feel right. Look, this is not about the match. It's not. You can say the match was garbage. You can say the match was great when it came to him and Eddie. It doesn't matter. Eddie won it. I wasn't surprised he was going to win it because I knew he was going to win it. What does Eddie gain out of this? 0. What does Hernandez gain out of this? He hasn't gained any money from last week because he lost. He got paid half to do the match, and he didn't get paid the other half because he lost the match. So again, he probably gotten paid this time, but didn't get the rest of the damn money. So what is the point of doing this? He's better off going to Swingers Palace and spending that money on 21. Come on. It feels like filler. And now, after this situation was over, what did we get? We got Scott saying in front of him and Matt, hey, I've seen this situation before, and I've seen this lawyer. He doesn't really read his stuff very well. So, as long as it's our doctors, you're out. If it's not our doctors, you're in. So, next week, I believe, or at Sacrifice, I can't remember which one, either next week or Sacrifice, I think it's next week, you're going to have a match against Eddie. And your ref is going to be Matt. And he did not like it. And it's for an eye match. I believe I got them in my face. What? You're going for an eye match. Why? Because AEW did it? Because this kind of feels like a bite off of AEW. What happened with Santana and what happened with Jon Moxley. A kind of a bite off. A little tiny bite. Because it's not like the first time that Impact hasn't done it. Admittedly, I haven't done it in a very long time. I'm sure an eye for an eye match has been a long time coming if they've done it in a long time. But it kind of feels like some AEW would do. And now they're doing a light version of it. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Let's see here. Am I forgetting anything here? Well, let's say something about Twitch. Last week, 7,000. No, it was up to what was it? 7,000 almost? Or no, 65 or 6,600 people. This time, it was around 5,600. So the number went down a little bit. Doesn't mean it's bad. Twitch is always going to fluctuate. I'm sure Access TV, the numbers might be up a little bit. Because they have done at least a little bit of good stuff. But I'm telling you right now, they need more. But it's just me, you guys, tell me below. Finally. What we wished. It's now... it's real now, or it's what we want. I'm not sure what here's moose in my face. Scott was so pissed off at him spearing a Jake something. It's just, he said simply, I'm sick of this. You mess up Rich. You want your title match? You can't get it. He's not here. He says, I want it. And he says, all right, after all that you've been doing, you know what? You want a title match so bad? Fine. I now recognize your title, and now you're going to have a title match with Jake something at the end of the show. What we've been waiting for. What we've been waiting for. What I actually stated since Moose has been holding this title, that they needed to calm down. Moose holding this title meant something. It didn't give him a lot, but it meant something. Finally, as I've said before, they should turn it into a mid-card title. Either rename it or just turn it into one. And then do something with it. So now supposedly, who knows how long it's going to last, the TNA World Heavyweight title is now a recognized title. Don't know if it's considered a mid-card title like in the WWE. You got the WWE title and now the Universal title. There is a difference. But it's not the point. We got a title for who knows how long. What do we get in this match? We got a good Jake Something match. Jake Something looked actually quite good. I mean, he wasn't doing bad in the tables match, but here he looked quite good. And I still don't like the name. It does not match his character. It doesn't match his first name. And it doesn't match his in-ring music. It just doesn't match him. They need to change his name. But for what it is, it's not that bad. I am actually quite surprised. For the time they did was actually good. And in the end, I didn't expect Jake to win. And he lost, as I expected. But then Rich Swann comes out, starts wailing on Moose, and now at Sacrifice, you're going to have a match. Jake versus Moose for the Impact World title. Here's the thing. If they said it as a unification match, that I think wouldn't be wise. But Moose holding the Impact title and the TNA title, they could do something with that title with the other one. Being a dual champion may give the title something to go by. Because you got one guy holding the current title that's supposed to mean something, a reissued title, a reactivated title, and if he holds them long enough together, either they're going to unify them, which if they are going to unify, I hope it takes more than 2 or 3 months easily, not 1 week. Within a 3, 4, even 5 months, let him hold both titles. Let him defend the TNA title. Let him defend the Impact title. Eventually, either he drops one and tries to get it back and then he demands a unification match, or he drops one to somebody else and they run with it because he's defended it long enough to make it mean something. This is where the question is going to be. How long will the TNA title stay legitimate? Because it could end up like the Impact Grand Championship. But it's just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.